here we are, the Smuggler's Moon. It's the gaping maw of Nal Hutta, swallowing all the cargo and spaceport thugs the galaxy has to offer. Mandalorians, mercenaries, war veterans, and pilots from the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War ended up on Nar Shaddaa, from all sides of the conflict. When the last war ended, there was no place left for them to go. Nar Shaddaa's a rough place and easy to get lost in. Or for someone to get lost. If we wanted to keep out of sight from the Sith for a while, you couldn't pick a better spot. It means glorious jewel in Huttese, but don't let that fool you. It's the central breeding grounds of the Hutts. Nar Shaddaa orbits it. Nal Hutta's as slimy as the Hutts. Lots of swamp and bloated gas. It's where those slugs reach out and grab chunks of the galaxy. Trust me, we're not going to go anywhere near the place unless we want to be washing the stink out of our clothes for the next few years. Anyone flying the Star Lanes has docked on Nar Shaddaa at least once. I wouldn't want to live there, and I doubt anyone does by choice. Not everyone who came to Nar Shaddaa were soldiers. A lot of worlds were destroyed by the Mandalorians, and the Jedi. Left a lot of people wandering the galaxy. Yeah, some came looking for work running freight and cargo. Still, there's only so many ships to go around and so many workers. So others lend their weapons to the Hutts in the exchange. It's become a prime base for raider recruitment across the galaxy. It won't be easy. There's so much traffic on Nar Shaddaa. Finding anyone on the moon's surface is going to be hard. We're going to touch down in the refugee sector. There's a lot more traffic there, and it's harder for people to spot you coming in. Or find you once you arrive. Shouldn't be too hard. There's so much traffic on Nar Shaddaa, finding anyone on the moon's surface is going to be hard. We're going to touch down in the refugee sector. There's a lot more traffic there, and it's harder for people to spot you coming in. Or find you once you arrive. I've plotted a course for the refugee sector, and we should touch down within the hour. Once we're down, we should finally be able to breathe easy. There's no way anyone's gonna find us here.
Perhaps you have heard that the Jedi comes to Nar Shaddaa. While she walks upon the Smuggler's Moon, she is not to be harmed. Observe her, track her, but do not eclipse her movements, or I shall eclipse yours. You must, because one Jedi attracts others. It is the way of things.
Dawachosimu poindorakawa ichirendumu moparama kawana abawasi. Yukroren man mapusiti indolara.
Honto no saka, jita bedwana maticha, kichu no kada mirenito. Renfiloso ni heku chupanaret atamakcha.
Taranamo sibu indasarans, crema sunkun ratungala, chawi mo jubu inkosoracha. Bomababe wanto susintu mukarata. Tu es rectonatada ber mabar chokto. Torenibu inturata sisi me burokra.
Request. If Goto's vessel is no longer neutral ground, inform us so that we might initiate assassination protocols and commence firing at once.
Kavadumpe masuraku popayi botenya tachimurota kamsa. Javaskobo subjob, rigiso karuanokso, mochito sasa grindeyo, kichu no kada mirenito. Renfiloso ni heku chupanaret atamakcha. The Upobotenyo go Jucho Picha, Gwem Tabani Sochu, Norotoga Proto Lala Shishi, Jubadosa Jibacha, Ratakmansan, Dokosha na Chitolo.
Observation. Jedi follow the self-destructive path of pacifism and tolerance. They will not attack first.
Doveri nincha, Yonona Shitasa Chuch. Doveri nincha, Yonona Shitasa Chuch. Gole Rosodish. Ranta Kras Mobas.
Ah, the beautiful stench and decay of desperate living.
This moon, it teems with life. It is difficult to center oneself.
Never have I been to a place so alive with the Force, yet so dead to it. The contrast is like a blade.
Word of warning, watch where you step, or you'll fall for hours. Sure, most of the landing pads around here are unclaimed, or should be. They're pretty badly maintained, so they're not safe to land on. Well, I mean, not this one. But they all have the reputation, so we should be all right. I think. No, but I forgot to tell them we were landing. The refugee sector's a dead zone. No one cares too much who flies in and out of here as long as they're not carrying cargo that the Exchange or the Hutts might want a piece of. Maybe a little, but landing here means we didn't have to transmit our ID signature. You know what trouble that always brings. In fact, while we're here, we should get those signatures changed. Wouldn't make us such a target when we enter a new system. Yeah, in all its glory. Don't get your hopes up from what you see here, though. As soon as we hit the main sector, that's when the smell and the mobs can get pretty bad. All right, then, let's move out. Where are we headed exactly?
It does not matter where we go. If what we seek is here, we shall come upon it in due time.
Yeah, if you want to stay on the ship and meditate some more, don't let us stop you. Then just being here should be enough. People in the refugee sector don't tend to ask too many questions. We should be safe enough. There should be a central trading hub up ahead. Their stock's probably not the best, but they may have some things worthwhile. Well, that means finding either a bounty hunter, a ranking member of the Exchange, or someone willing to talk, none of which are too appealing. Bounty hunters in the Exchange are going to want to shoot you, and someone who is willing to talk to anyone, which means trouble.
The bounty is a waste of our efforts. All that matters is the Jedi. The intentions of the thugs of this moon are of no consequence.
Forgive me, but these bounty hunters pose a threat to her. Their persistence is unusual, and if they're not stopped, one of them may prove lucky.
I agree. They're nothing more than a distraction. But even a distraction may prove fatal at a critical moment. We must protect her.
If you are so certain of your path, then do what you will. It makes no difference.
It's up to you. There's bound to be someone in the sector willing to spill their guts for a credit or two.
Finding a Jedi, or anyone else touched by the Force here, will be difficult. The mass of people, the rush of their emotions. It makes detection difficult. But this moon does not get any smaller while we wait. This sector is as good as any place to begin our search, so let us begin.
Well, if we're gonna search a moon of a few billion inhabitants for one Jedi that even our own can't sense, might as well start as soon as possible. Alright, if you have any questions, just ask. We should be able to leave the ship here as long as we want. No one supervises these landing pads anymore.
You there!
Uh-oh.
What's with you? Letting that piece of junk sink its struts into my landing pad! No, really? Thanks for the insight. And here I was, thinking you were a smart human. I got another ship coming in, and unless you want that piece of junk's hull crushed flat, you better move it. Got it? That's none of your business. All you need to know is that they're gonna be firing up their quad lasers if they find your ship squatting there when they arrive. Yeah, right now all I'm hearing is talk. How much you offering? Done! Pleasure doing business with you. I got some visitors booked for your space, but I'm sure the two of you can work it out when they arrive.
No! Look, you can't keep us trapped in the refugee sector. We can't survive there. You've got us locked in.
You see an opening! Together now! Everyone, on the car!
Thanks for your help. They would have crippled me for sure. Well, they work for the Exchange, for a Quarren named Visquis. He's looking to step up in the Exchange. The only language the Exchange respects is money, so Visquis is trying to increase his profits by using the refugees here in Nar Shaddaa as a cheap labor force. We're only good to him as slaves and merchandise. He wants to keep us in one place, so he can control us. That's always been the way. Well, except lately. The Exchange has been clamping down on the refugee sector hard, and I've no idea why. They've started kidnapping people, hurting others, but there seems to be no reason to it. You don't. He comes to you. If he's got reason to. Either because you can help him out, or because you're making trouble. Either way, it's not a good thing. Whatever your reasons, thanks.
Spare a few credits, friend. Much appreciated, friend. Life's hard in the refugee sector, and this should go a long way to helping. All right. I don't know much beyond the refugee sector here, but I can share what I know. This sector's filled with refugees from the Jedi Civil War, and even as far back as the Mandalorian Wars. Refugees and war veterans both, and anyone else who was rendered homeless by the war. The Jedi destroyed planets across the galaxy, and here's where the wreckage ended up. That's two names for one thing. It's difficult to tell in the crossfire, and the Sith were led by Jedi. In the end, it didn't make much difference. A lot of space lanes cross at Nar Shaddaa, and once here, it's hard to move on. Even fighter pilots from the war can't get work at the docks. The freighter crews are full up. There's no work here and no way out, unless you want to become a hired muscle for the Exchange, or work in a Hutt slave camp. No, should I? He doesn't sound like a Hutt. What, is he a bounty hunter or an Exchange boss? Jedi Master? There aren't any Jedi Masters in the galaxy, let alone on Nar Shaddaa. This place is a cesspit, with the Exchange and the Hutts stabbing their claws into everything. But, you know, I did hear something about a bounty on Jedi, though. Something the Exchange posted. Doesn't matter, though. Aren't any more Jedi around, so no one's going to be collecting that bounty. Not much to say, except it's a high price. You need to find a bounty hunter to get more, and they've been pretty scarce lately. You might have more luck trying to find someone connected to the Exchange. And I don't mean some spaceport muscle, I mean someone connected. Well, they tend to lay low. To be honest, It's like with bounty hunters. You may need to do something to get their attention. No idea. Could be one of them crossed the exchange, and they're looking for revenge on all of them. Look, one other thing. It's obvious you're new around here. I can tell it just by looking at you. Nar Shaddaa can be a rough place, and easy to get lost in. If you want, I can keep an ear out for you. Let you know if I hear anything. I'll do that then. I'll come seek you out if I hear anything I think you might want to know.
I saw what you did to those exchange thugs, stranger. Can you spare a few credits, maybe help another refugee in need? Thank you, stranger. I won't forget your kindness.
Why did you do such a thing? Such kindnesses will mean nothing. His path is set. Giving him what he has not earned is like pouring sand into his hands. And would that be a kindness? What if by surviving another day he brings a greater darkness upon another? The Force binds all things. The slightest push, the smallest touch, sends echoes throughout life. Even an act of kindness may have more severe repercussions than you know or can see. By giving him something he has not earned, perhaps all you have helped him become is a target. Seeing another elevated often brings the eyes of others who suffer. And perhaps in the end, all you have wrought is more pain. And that is my lesson to you. Be careful of charity and kindness, lest you do more harm with open hands than with a clenched fist. Good. Mind what I have said. Use your power, but in its proper place.
And what did she want?
Just answers to some questions. Asked about a Jedi Master of all things.
Really? Interesting.
Geraktada cemense bingar rukutudo unde chuchamataso benkisha manensitsi. Fela dibono ta munikranaktada. Terewana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kavrekare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemenoto torere senisensen. Charanana gundoso remina che l'orakto guru katpada. Fiadoratore padano ringatel camarada te la fibu nubu da bicarana cenirara. Va te vaca reware. Sono con cere nurigrom. Mone idere riba con dos. Barinkeshka bunsa te lanzomenta tasa. Terewana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kavrekare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemenoto torere senisensen. Der rinto runto wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan gorsada nane gra dall'onuta choloren. Charanana gundoso remina che l'orakto guru katpada. Fiadoratore padano ringatel camarada te la fibu nubu da bicarana cenirara. Terewana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kavrekare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemenoto torere senisensen. Terewana jun konata della raguno tunna. Dai rinto ron kavrekare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemenoto torere senisensen. Wana jun senisensen drawice canel commercio ce la fibu nalot. Besotre naga, tunindo que raccontunso desrata. Dune cici menendade seke, de lan nada. Manama treto sobre barakto drun. Krishe mentru gre babano flantur na saganich. Grave no ku se tabate. Trawinsto sopotuto neliep green patata. Trawinsto busuto neliep gran patata. Teleronda nana nintolo gradatira.
Tycienie Sabelanki, Drałęcz i Frymelestrindosi, Greneszki Tyrunce Barandy do Pąsokonniki, Mekrana Głasolomikix, Simbyrtha, Nemrakta, Szuseferengama Lakta Talini, Fosire Zimniabe Wandash, Wydyniusz de Filank Bdusz, de Poste Kalarga na Rengok, Dolana na Sanany Tyriona Sorach. Belechno Butsa, Uniki Karatanadra, Belechno Sixofingus, Simbirsa, Nemrakta, Shusaferengama Lakta Talini, Fosire Zimniabe Wandash, Wydyniusz de Filank Bdusz, de Poste Kalarga na Rengok, Dolana na Sanany Tyriona Sorach, Mekrana Głasolomikix. Rakta, Schussefrengama, Lakta, Talini. Funis, Svindelagsti, Lindros, de Vasti, Banagash. Funis, Svindelagsti, Lindros, de Vasti, Banagash. Tycienie Sabelanki, Drałęcz i Frymelestrindosi, Greneszki Tyrunce Barandy do Pąsokonniki, Mekrana Głasolomikix, Simbyrtha, Nemrakta, Szuseferengama Lakta Talini, Lindros de Vasti, Banagash. Belechno Butsa, Uniki Karatanadra, Simbirtha, Nemrakta, Shusaferengama Lakta Talini. Tycienie Sabelanki, Drałęcz i Frymelestrindosi, Greneszki Tyrunce Barandy do Pąsokonniki. Lindros de Vasti, Banagash, Tycienie Sabelanki, Drałęcz i Frymelestrindosi, Greneszki Tyrunce Barandy do Pąsokonniki. Mekrana Głasolomikix, Simbirtha, Nemrakta, Szuseferengama Lakta Talini. Funis, Svindelagsti, Mekrana Głasolomikix, Simbirtha, Nemrakta, Shusaferengama Lakta Talini. Funis, Svindelagsti.
Please, look, I already paid the exchange what I have. Oh, look! Here's the one with your credits. About time. Look, these gentlemen are getting impatient. Are you crazy? That was exchange muscle. When they hear about this, they'll come back a dozen strong and tear you limb from limb. All right. What'd you want to know? Jedi Master? Are you crazy? There aren't any more Jedi running around, let alone Masters. But you're serious, aren't you? All right, well, look. If I were a Jedi, I'd be where I could help people. As for where that happens on Nar Shaddaa, I have no idea. The bounty hunters don't have any one place where they stick around. Best thing I can tell you is if you want to find one, get a bounty on your head and then wait. Are you serious? All right. I must be doing something right for you to come along and bail me out like you did.
Such acts have their own strength about them. I had forgotten. Principles of sacrifice and charity. These are things I have not seen in some time. I'm afraid that it will weaken you for what comes. But I have said enough, and you do not need my counsel. Your actions should, as always, be your own.
The bounty hunters have been laying low recently, like they're waiting for something.
Sarda chornilo tabe duana mataka nus dogulupan. Daka prota gocha jarkomati sochpam lorcha. Yota chi sabarinish. Uba volpa holosha. Chuba dosa jibicha. Krota short na chino mak. Uba volpa holosha. Chuba dosa jibicha. Krota short na chino mak. Crimso anatis chi norta hilembechok. Wendindo bay. Jabalakish. Tochimaka. Lotologo besanus. Misash lochut. Uba volba holosha. Chuba dosa jibicha. Krota short na chino mak.
Ugh, the stink here in the refugee sector is worse than the rest of Nar Shaddaa. I wish the exchange would pack up the refugees and ship them all off to spice camps.
Your thoughts are disturbed. I can feel them from a great distance, like a shiver running through you. It is Nar Shaddaa, The true Nar Shaddaa that you feel around you. It is this moon, with the metal and machines stripped away and the currents of the Force laid bare. I'm surprised you can feel it. I fear the damage to you had deadened you to such perceptions. What you feel is the echo of the minds of these creatures within the Force. Their anger, their greed, their desperation. It is life. One might as well heal the universe, but such manipulation is possible, yes. It requires that one be able to feel the critical point within the fractured mass, and know how to strike it in such a way that the echoes travel to your intended destination. For as long as it lasts, like life, such waking moments within the Force are rare, waiting for the right moment when the critical point is struck and the sound rises. But let us be silent. Words and thoughts are distractions. Feel this moment, for as long as it will last.
Don't waste my time. I've got a transport to catch.
Hey, I saw that ship you flew in on. My ship. It's the Ebon Hawk, isn't it? She was stolen from me during a routine run in the Mid-Rim, near the close of the Mandalorian Wars. The registry's 34 P7JK. It's got a temperamental hyperdrive, and the turrets can be sluggish and unresponsive against fast-moving fighters. She's also got 2 secret compartments, one in the cargo hold, right near the plasteel cylinders in the back, and the second beneath the bunks in the starboard cabin. So, you gonna hand it over now, or are you going to be difficult? No deal. A ship's worth its weight in spice on Nar Shaddaa, and nothing's worth being trapped here another year scrounging freight jobs. Good to hear you aren't going to challenge it. That makes things a lot easier.
This is one of those times when I'm convinced you're thinking 3 steps ahead of me, and I cannot see the destination.
No hard feelings, I hope. Don't worry. You shouldn't have any trouble finding transport off Nar Shaddaa on your own. I'll be going now. Get used to the solid ground beneath you.
Donos imeragith, wanara korachi drumka sa inchobin sasha, dosimana rachata. Donos imeragith, wanara korachi drumka sa inchobin sasha, dosimana rachata. Moka kamaran endoso ranwi no chabi, du rantamana sobu. Bo mababe wanto susintu mukarata. Tu esfrektonatada ber mabar chokto. Torenibu inturata sisi meborokra. Taranamo sibu endasarans. Krema sunkun ratungala. Chawi mo jubu inkosoracha.
Graci ubaci kompadwana muska na boska wamba. Reliba kontosa. Mancho karlema konchore bimasa. Ifrekundas plehti simron chore krenun. Nora hagwa buska yokolo alaubaka.
Hara hinemas emanana hisnaste hiha.
Charnu kutos merema keras. Karanara kakera desimenditirana.
Meshasa achuto gonkula, tawinti malare. Jurun maba, kodu soto, me kogariti, jakolo, me bomas. Machitu pachama chalawaba, dona sinto norakipa shakani.
Tonoranga manakan, ipo inshawa. Tonoranga manakan, ipo inshawa. Mababe want to susin tu mukarata. Tu esrecto natada ber mabar chokto. Torenibu inturata sisi me burokra. Machabi doko, tonoranga manachunga.
Meshasa achuto gonkula, tawinti malare. Dakaprota gocha, jarkomati sochpam lorcha, yotachi sabarinish. Uba volpa holosha, chuba dosa jibicha, krota short nachino mak. Uba volpa holosha, chuba dosa jibicha, krota short nachino mak. Uba volpa holosha, chuba dosa jibicha, krota short nachino mak. Jabalakish, tochimaka, lotologo besanus, misash lochut. No, nananka talani chispo karana yok chalisto chesaje. Dakaprota gocha, jarkomati sochpan lorcha, yota chisabarinish. Nus jamachor heptoth nich doksha tochiren kotesh, chot akish besa hek pank pajiji. Uba volpa holosha, chuba dosa jibicha, krota short nachino mak. Dakaprota gocha, jarkomati sochpam lorcha, yota chisabarinish. Dakaprota gocha, jarkomati sochpam lorcha, yota chisabarinish. Jabalakish, tochimaka, lotologo besanus, misash lochut. Jabalakish, tochimaka, lotologo besanus, misash lochut. Teujani na fasa susho wikana ini docha kes. Kappa turundi loso chiranani. No, nananka talani chispo karana yok chalisto chesaje.
Wachosimu poendo rakawa ichirendu momo parama kawana abawasi. You kroren wan mapusiti indolara. Tonoranga manakan, ipo inshawa. Mababe want to susin tu mukarata. Tu esrecto natada ber mabar chokto. Torenibu inturata sisi me burokra.